Hey guys, Baron here. When you look online and look at good TV shows, what do you think of? Do you think of a good action flick? Or possibly an exciting and intriguing drama with lots of character development? Well, at least for me personally, I often find myself looking at anime. Most of these are, if they're good at it, have fun and exciting plots and simple intrigues. Both these things are good, yes, but if you're looking for something a bit more complicated, that's not really what you want since it's mostly popcorn fun. Sometimes you just want that TV show that really grabs a hold on you, with lots of drama and good characters and a really complicated and vast world. And certainly, FullMetal Alchemist Brotherhood is one of those TV shows. So today, after having watched it and reflected on it a bit, I will break down my thoughts and get them to you in a review. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now before we say anything about this show, I must confess that it is a show I put off watching for a while. I really got into anime in high school when I was introduced to it by friends. Before that I was a narrow-minded kid, and I thought that anything that wasn't produced by Hollywood was not really worth my time, and anything that produced outside of America was just bad in general. Boy, do I feel stupid. I've watched a bunch of anime since then, and I've gotta say that FullMetal Alchemist Brotherhood is the best one I've seen by far. I think one reason to that is just how fanboy accessible the show truly is. And with that, I mean that it's just so damn easy to get caught in. I think it only took me like 3 episodes or something to get absolutely obsessed, and after that, I couldn't let go of watching it. It was pretty much all I did with my free time, apart from making YouTube content, that is. Of course, as the title indicates, the show is about alchemy. This is basically magic using natural elements. And let's face it, everyone and their mother wants to be a magician. That's why we all want to go to Hogwarts after all. But what makes FullMetal Alchemist so much more interesting than, let's say, Little Witch Academia, is that this kind of magic really goes deeply into philosophical elements. And don't get me wrong, Little Witch Academia is not a bad show, it's just very clear-cut cookie. FullMetal instead gives the viewer the real consequences of the magic they used, and what it can do as a physical force itself, and what it can do psychologically to others when they abuse it. This is something that not only gives the anime great scenes, but excellent character arcs too. And let's talk about the characters for a minute. The show takes its foundation in following the Elric brothers, Edward and Alphonse, as they search for the Philosopher's Stone. But while this is merely the bone structure of the show, you got all the other characters making a real thick show that makes you feel for every single one. And I mean every single one. You've got characters like Van Hohenheim, Windry, Mustang, Vera Bradley, Greed, Hawkeye, Envy, and Greed, to name a few that are so fleshed out that even if they are the villain, you definitely understand their motives and can sympathize with them. Wait, did I say Greed 2 times? Huh, this is why you check the scripts before you try to record something. Anyways, you can truly understand their motives and sympathize with them. And that is not to say that this show doesn't have plot twists, because believe you me, it's got plenty that will give an alchemical reaction of your jaw dropping to the floor. But I do feel like the plot of FullMetal Alchemist is focused on the characters, their goals and desires, their heartbreaks and sorrow, and of course, their relationships to one another. And that is what truly drives the story forward, and what gives it what it has to have to make it stick to you and get you caught in its web of awesomeness. Of course, you can't talk about any anime without speaking about the animation. I mean, this is what really is the core structure of the anime and what, well, basically makes it different from a cartoon. And FullMetal Alchemist Brotherhood certainly does not disappoint. It strikes a perfect balance between being so realistic and vivid that you sometimes forget that it is an anime and not a real-life story that you're following right in front of your eyes. But the show also is overly cartoonish at times. You might come to the conclusion that this is a bad thing, since this is an anime and not a Cartoon Network Thursday afternoon broadcast of Fairly Odd Parents. But in the context of the show, it actually kind of works. I think the only reason for this is just how it's always played for comedic value. It can be, for example, when two characters have an argument, turning their faces into weird caricatures, or when characters react to a scolding or embarrassing moment with feelings of dread, fear, or embarrassing. This makes these moments hilarious, making at least me crack up with roaring laughter. But it also it adds an endearment to these moments, making you feel sorry for the characters. Another cool thing about not only the animation but the visuals in general is just how the world looks and how it is connected. It reaches from harsh winter in the north to the rich cities in the west and the ragged ruins to the east. This adds to distinctly different peoples and cultures, and the relationships between them are truly fleshed out. Especially the central city and the Ishmael tribe to the east. Their relationship is kind of a very major focus of the show, and the show really does benefit from it, because you can truly see how the conflicts have formed the world into what it is, which makes it believable because it is developed expertly. It's basically on Game of Thrones standards, and kind of think about it, those worlds are not that different. But the world can also be connected to our own too. It is clearly based on early 20th century Europe, with how the society is structured, people dress, and how technology and our architecture are shaped. And with Amestris, the country that the story takes place in, being a military state, it gives kind of a pre-World War II feeling to it, which is probably because you can see signs of industrialization and steamer line technology too. The soundtrack gives it this historical vibe too, being a combination of orchestral, bombastic tracks and melancholic choir. That being said though, the show isn't perfect. I slightly felt that the first maybe 2 episodes were a bit confusing with so much unfamiliar stuff happening all at once. It was hard to follow. It was first when you got the backstory of the Elric brothers that you truly got into the show. And maybe this is what the first episode should have been, with the second and possibly end of the first episode should jump into the future. Another thing was how the laws of the show don't really make sense all the time. The show tells you that alchemy have certain rules, but then in certain scenes it goes breaking them and completely goes against its own laws. Although these are minor gripes that really don't ruin the experience of watching the show. Many who have reviewed the show have pointed out how hard it is to criticize it, and I must agree. Overall, FullMetal Alchemist is a fantastic show. It sucks you in from the moment you start watching it, to the moment you let go because you realize, well, there are no episodes left, what are you gonna do? And with this combination of dramas, horrible consequences of war, the power of science, and the possibility of having limitless power and how it can corrupt you, it's certainly a show I'd recommend to both TV and anime fans who are just looking to get into anime, a really good show, and people who haven't watched anime before and are looking for a show that can exemplify what an anime really should and could be, because this is certainly a good example. I am therefore gonna give FullMetal Alchemist Brotherhood an A. That is it from me. What do you think of this review? What do you think of the TV show in general, FullMetal Alchemist Brotherhood? Have you watched it? Are you gonna watch it? Let us know in the comment section below. Let's get a debate going. It's really exciting when it does. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, that subscribe button, and share this video with a friend or two. But with that being said, I'm gonna get the hashtag out of here. Thank you guys for checking out the video, and I really hope you enjoyed. Before, until, and after I see you next time though, stay awesome.